Welcome to our channel, Success Mindset. Thank you for joining us on this journey as we explore the deep values of success mindset and inner strength. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by stress, wondering if it's something to avoid or slow down? The Stoics would tell you that stress is not your enemy. It's your ally in shaping greatness. Imagine this: a gem can't be polished without friction, and neither can a man be perfected without enduring life's trials. What if I told you that you have the power to shape your own destiny through struggle and perseverance? Stoicism teaches us that greatness doesn't come from avoiding pressure, but from facing it head-on. Are you ready to transform your life by mastering the art of stress, focus, and change? Let's dive into how you can embrace this ancient wisdom. According to the Stoics, the greatest individuals are defined by their ability to handle stress. Yet in today's world, we've been taught that stress is something to avoid at all costs. We're conditioned to think that whenever stress hits, we need to slow down, take a break, or step away. But the Stoics understood something far more profound. They believed that, much like a gem cannot be formed without enduring the immense pressure of the earth, a great person cannot be shaped without facing life's pressures. Greatness, after all, is not the product of ease, but of struggle and perseverance. Among the many Stoic teachings, a quote from Seneca stands out: "Just as a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor can a man be perfected without trials." This is the core of Stoicism. It's through enduring challenges and overcoming obstacles that we are transformed. The power to change, to improve, and to rise above is within us all. And if you want to truly live as a Stoic, the first step is recognizing what's within your control. Only when you master your mind, your reactions to both internal and external events, can you begin the journey of self-mastery. This process of mastering your habits, impulses, and thoughts is not easy, but it is essential. Nothing in life worth achieving is simple, and the Stoic path to greatness demands constant focus, attention, and mindfulness. It's a lifelong commitment to improving oneself and living in alignment with virtues. And this brings us to our first lesson, the virtue of present focus. How often do you find yourself trapped in the regrets of yesterday or the anxieties about tomorrow? The Stoics remind us that the present moment holds the key to our freedom. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." But what does that mean for us in today's world? We live in a constant rush, overwhelmed by notifications and distractions. Our minds often dwell in the past or the future, where we have no real control. But Stoicism brings us back to the present, where our true power lies. Think about it. Every second spent worrying about what might happen in the future is a second lost from acting in the present. By focusing on the now, we engage with life as it unfolds rather than fearing how it might unravel. So how can you practice this Stoic focus in your daily life? Start by integrating small moments of mindfulness into your routine. Dedicate even 5 minutes a day to observe your surroundings. Breathe deeply and ground yourself in the present. This practice not only sharpens your focus, but also strengthens your ability to stay grounded in more turbulent times. Imagine this: you're starting your day. The aroma of your morning coffee fills the air. What do you notice about the texture of the cup? The sound of the world waking up around you. Grounding yourself in these sensory details helps to keep you focused on the moment and shields you from the distractions of past regrets or future worries. The Stoics believed that by concentrating on the present, we tap into a well of peace and resilience. As you continue on your Stoic journey, let this focus on the present guide you toward a more centered and empowered life. How will you remind yourself to stay present today? And how could this shift in focus change the way you approach the challenges that lie ahead? Now let's move on to Lesson 2. Embracing change as a pathway to growth. How do you react when change disrupts your life? The Stoics didn't view change as a burden, but as an essential part of life's natural rhythm. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." Let's explore how embracing change, rather than resisting it, can lead to growth and renewal. Continuing from the previous lesson on embracing change, Let's now explore the next Stoic lesson, the power of emotional resilience. In life, how often do you find that your emotions dictate your actions? Stoicism teaches that the key to enduring life's hardships isn't found in avoiding pain or seeking pleasure, but in developing an inner fortress of calm and rationality. As Seneca wisely said, the greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. This wisdom emphasizes the importance of focusing on the present and maintaining an even keel, regardless of external circumstances. Understanding. Emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to cope with crises mentally and emotionally, or to return to a pre-crisis state quickly. However, in Stoic philosophy, resilience is not just about bouncing back from setbacks. It's about using those experiences as stepping stones for greater personal development. The Stoics believed that adversity is a training ground for fortitude and wisdom. Emotional resilience, therefore, isn't simply recovering from a setback. It's about transforming that experience into an opportunity for personal growth. Perception plays a critical role in the Stoic approach to emotional resilience. Epictetus famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." This suggests that our emotional responses are not caused by external events themselves, but by how we perceive and interpret those events. Now, imagine a difficult situation in your life. How do you typically respond? Does your emotional reaction drive your actions? Stoicism teaches us to shift our perception of challenges, not as something to be feared, but as an opportunity to grow stronger. Every time you face adversity, you're not just recovering, you're evolving. You're using the experience as a lesson in resilience and wisdom. So what can you do differently next time? How might you reframe your emotional responses to align more closely with Stoic principles? As you reflect on this, think about how you can apply the Stoic mindset to challenges in your life. Embrace the idea that each difficulty you face is an opportunity for growth. And when you learn to master your emotions, you begin to move through life with greater ease and clarity. So, are you ready to embrace emotional resilience and transform every setback into a lesson for personal growth? Your journey through Stoicism will become a continuous process of refining your ability to stay calm, focused, and purposeful, no matter what life throws your way. With that, let's move on to the next lesson, where we'll dive into how to apply these principles to your daily life. Building on the idea of emotional resilience from our previous lesson, let's now dive into how the Stoics teach us to manage and transform our emotions for greater strength. Emotions are not triggered by external events themselves, but by the way we perceive these events. A resilient individual uses rational judgment to interpret life's challenges in a way that aligns with Stoic virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. The Stoics practice reframing negative events, seeing them not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. For example, a professional setback isn't just a source of stress, but a chance to practice perseverance and adaptability. Every challenge can be turned into a chance to embody Stoic virtues. A key part of Stoic perception is striving for objectivity. Rather than getting swept up in emotional responses, a Stoic tries to see situations as they truly are, free from personal bias or emotional turmoil. In practice, this means asking yourself, what are the facts of this situation? Am I adding subjective interpretations that could cloud my judgment? By staying objective, the Stoic avoids emotional overreaction and develops a more grounded, rational response to life's challenges. To strengthen this emotional resilience, Stoicism offers several practical strategies that are meant to be practiced daily. These strategies aren't just theoretical. They are tools to help build mental and emotional fortitude over time. Cognitive distancing is one of these strategies. This technique involves stepping back from your immediate emotional reactions, observing them as though they belong to someone else. By creating this psychological space, you can assess emotions without being overwhelmed by them. This allows for a clearer, more objective response, almost as if you were receiving advice from a wise and impartial friend. The Stoics advocate for this emotional detachment, reminding us that we are not defined by our emotions. This helps us respond to situations more rationally instead of reacting impulsively. Another crucial practice is challenging irrational beliefs. Stoics believe that many of our negative emotions stem from irrational beliefs. For example, thinking, "This is the worst thing that could happen," is an exaggeration that leads to unnecessary emotional distress. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to question these beliefs and replace them with more balanced, rational perspectives. This practice of questioning and replacing irrational thoughts reduces emotional volatility and strengthens resilience. To further build resilience, the Stoics often practice voluntary discomfort. This might sound strange, but it involves deliberately exposing oneself to discomfort, such as enduring cold temperatures or fasting. The purpose of this practice is to harden oneself against the discomforts that life may throw our way, making future hardships feel more manageable and less emotionally overwhelming. By intentionally stepping out of our comfort zones, we become more adaptable and resilient in the face of adversity. To integrate these strategies into your daily life, Stoics often set aside time for reflection and practice. Each evening, they reflect on the emotional challenges and successes of the day. This allows them to reinforce lessons learned and prepare for future trials. By regularly engaging in practices that foster resilience, Stoics ensure they are always ready to face adversity with equanimity and strength. Mindfulness and meditation are key practices for cultivating a calm, non-judgmental awareness of your thoughts and feelings. These practices help you remain composed even under stress, reflecting the Stoic ideal of maintaining balance. Start with a simple mindfulness exercise. Sit quietly for a few minutes each day, focusing on your breath. Notice the sensation of air moving in and out of your body. When your mind wanders, gently return your focus to your breath. This simple practice trains your mind to stay present, reducing reactivity to external stresses. In stressful moments, whether at work or in personal interactions, you can use mindfulness techniques. Before reacting emotionally, take a few deep breaths and center yourself. This pause creates space for clarity, allowing you to respond more thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Journaling is another powerful tool for self-reflection that is highly valued in Stoicism. Writing regularly helps you process emotions and reflect on your responses to various situations. Keep a daily journal, noting the challenges you faced and your reactions to them. This helps you track your emotional progress and identify patterns in your thinking and behavior. Journaling allows you to dig deeper into your feelings and gain insight into how to handle future challenges more effectively. As you incorporate these Stoic practices into your daily routine, you'll find that your ability to remain calm, composed, and resilient grows stronger. These tools help you transform emotional turbulence into opportunities for growth, leading you to a more balanced, thoughtful, and empowered life. So, how can you begin practicing these Stoic strategies today? And how might they help you navigate life's challenges with greater strength and clarity? Let's move forward to the next lesson, where we'll explore the concept of self-discipline and how it ties into our overall journey of self-mastery. Building on the idea of emotional resilience and self-awareness from the previous lesson, let's dive into how Stoic reflection and practical exercises can help us grow and strengthen our responses to life's challenges. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on your emotional responses. Spend about 10 minutes writing in your journal, focusing on moments when your emotions strongly influenced your actions. Reflect on what triggered these emotions and how you managed them. Were your reactions aligned with Stoic virtues like wisdom, courage, and temperance? This exercise of self-reflection not only deepens your understanding of your emotions, but it also helps you identify patterns and triggers that you can work on for better control in the future. Engaging in Stoic reflection goes beyond just reviewing the events of the day. It's about assessing how well you've lived by Stoic principles, evaluating where you've succeeded, and identifying areas for improvement. This process encourages growth in virtue and resilience, turning everyday challenges into opportunities. To practice Stoicism, incorporating practical Stoic exercises into your routine can further enhance your emotional resilience. One powerful exercise is called the view from above. This involves imagining yourself looking at your life from a broader, more detached perspective, almost as if viewing it from the skies above. When you practice this exercise, you'll begin to see your personal problems as smaller parts of a much larger universe. By shifting your perspective, you reduce the emotional weight your issues carry. When overwhelmed by life's struggles, try visualizing yourself from above as just a small part of a vast, interconnected world. This mental exercise can help reduce stress, increase feelings of calm, and remind you of your place in the grand scheme of things. Imagine the relief of viewing your problems from this elevated perspective. They don't seem as insurmountable anymore, do they? Take a look at Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, who faced immense challenges during the Antonine Plague, which ravaged the Roman Empire from AD 165 to 180. The plague, likely smallpox, killed millions and disrupted the empire's population, military, and economy. Despite the overwhelming personal and political pressure, Marcus Aurelius maintained his composure and leadership, demonstrating Stoic principles like duty and acceptance of fate. In his meditations, written during his military campaigns and amidst the plague, Marcus Aurelius reflected on his efforts to remain virtuous and rational, despite severe external stresses. One of his most memorable metaphors in meditations is this: be like the promontory against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it. This powerful image illustrates his approach to life's crises, remaining steadfast and calm, not allowing external chaos to disturb his inner peace. His ability to maintain his composure, even in the face of one of the greatest crises in Roman history, shows us the power of emotional resilience. Marcus Aurelius's leadership during the plague can inspire us to approach our own challenges with the same strength and equanimity. His ability to control his emotional responses, even in the most turbulent times, underscores the Stoic belief that while we cannot control the external world, we can always control our reactions. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, faced his own trials when he was exiled to the island of Corsica in AD 41 by Emperor Claudius. Accused of having an affair with the emperor's niece, Seneca spent 8 years in isolation, disgrace, and separation from his former political and social life. Yet, during this period of exile, Seneca turned to philosophy and writing. It was in these writings that he found a source of strength and philosophical insight, which helped him maintain his Stoic outlook. His works, such as Consolations, transformed his suffering into wisdom, showing us how the Stoic principles of resilience and inner freedom can be practiced even in the harshest conditions. Seneca's experience demonstrates that external circumstances do not define our inner lives. Even when faced with exile and disgrace, he found purpose and strength in his philosophical growth. His ability to view his suffering not as a punishment, but as an opportunity for personal and philosophical development, is a powerful reminder that we too can choose how we respond to life's challenges. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, offers another perspective on resilience. He famously wrote, "I am not suffering because I am not a wretch, nor does any man suffer except by his own fault. Our perturbations come only from the opinion within us." This statement reflects Epictetus's commitment to maintaining a Stoic outlook, seeing suffering not as a direct result of external events, but as a product of our perceptions and interpretations of those events. By practicing the Stoic principle of reframing, Epictetus teaches us to view even our greatest challenges as opportunities for personal growth. Through this lens, suffering becomes a catalyst for developing greater wisdom and resilience. Lesson 4. The strength of self-control. Self-control in the Stoic sense involves regulating one's emotions, desires, and actions to live in harmony with reason. It's about aligning behavior with rational thinking and ethical principles, rather than being led by impulses or immediate gratifications. For Stoics like Epictetus, self-control wasn't just a personal virtue, it was a form of freedom. He argued, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Self-control allows us to free ourselves from the influence of external circumstances and inner turmoil, empowering us to live according to our values and not our impulses. By practicing self-control, we step into the realm of true freedom, where we are no longer slaves to our emotions or immediate desires. So, how can you begin practicing self-control today? And how might it bring you closer to the life of wisdom and freedom that the Stoics envisioned? Let's continue on to the next lesson, where we'll explore how self-discipline plays a crucial role in the Stoic path to greatness. Continuing from our last lesson on self-control, let's now explore how the Stoics guide us in embracing acceptance and cultivating emotional agility to better navigate life's challenges. To begin, each day offers an opportunity to strengthen your inner resolve. Start your morning by setting clear intentions that reflect your Stoic values. Decide which virtues you want to embody and how you plan to handle the challenges that might arise. This proactive approach ensures that your daily actions align with your larger philosophical goals. By intentionally choosing how to respond, you set the tone for a calm, rational, and purposeful day. One practical way to train yourself in self-discipline is by practicing delayed gratification. Start with small challenges, such as waiting a few extra minutes before eating a meal or limiting leisure activities until essential tasks are completed. This strengthens your willpower and teaches you to prioritize long-term satisfaction over short-term impulses. Each time you make these small choices, you're building the mental muscle to handle bigger decisions in life. When faced with decisions, whether big or small, practice pausing before reacting. Take a moment to reflect on which choice best aligns with your Stoic principles and long-term goals. This habit ensures that your actions are deliberate, measured, and aligned with your ethical framework. At the end of each day, take a few moments to review instances where you successfully exercised self-control, as well as moments where you might have given in to impulse. Reflect on the consequences of both and think about strategies that could help improve your self-control in the future. Incorporating. Stoic exercises like voluntary discomfort can also bolster your mental fortitude. For example, cold showers or fasting help you become more resilient, not just physically but psychologically as well. These practices help you strengthen your resolve, making it easier to maintain self-control during stressful or trying times. Challenge irrational thoughts that lead to impulsive actions. Instead of thinking, "I want this now," ask yourself, "Is this truly beneficial for me in the long term?" This reframing helps align your thoughts with Stoic rationality and self-discipline. An excellent example of self-control comes from Seneca, a Stoic philosopher who, despite experiencing political and personal setbacks, consistently chose actions that reflected his values. Even in the face of Roman corruption and decay, he demonstrated immense self-control. In his letters to Lucilius, Seneca offered practical advice on how to maintain self-control, especially when surrounded by life's luxuries and pressures. His advice encourages us to live a balanced life, embracing simple pleasures without overindulgence. Think about how this virtue of self-control can become a powerful tool in managing both minor irritants and major upheavals. The ability to keep calm in the face of challenges, whether it's a stressful situation at work or an unexpected life change, helps you stay grounded, rational, and focused on your values. Reflect on how you can integrate these Stoic practices into your own life to better handle emotional triggers and impulses. Now let's move on to Lesson 5, Embracing Stoic Acceptance. How can acceptance help us transform the way we respond to life's challenges and adversities? Stoic acceptance isn't about resignation, it's about understanding and affirming the natural order of the universe. According to the Stoics, everything that happens does so for a reason, in alignment with the Logos, the rational structure of the universe. Embracing this perspective helps us see challenges not as disruptions to our happiness, but as opportunities to practice virtue and improve our character. For Stoics like Epictetus, acceptance is rooted in the distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. He teaches, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This principle encourages us to focus our energy on what we can control, our actions, responses, and values, while accepting external events as they come without excessive frustration or resistance. To practice acceptance, Start by clearly identifying what is within your control. What can you control in your life? Your efforts, your responses, and your values. And what is beyond your control? The behavior of others, the past, and much of the external world. Gaining this clarity allows you to focus your energy wisely and not waste it on things you can't change. Incorporating a daily practice of gratitude can help shift your focus from what you cannot control to what you have. This shift in perspective fosters a greater appreciation for life as it is, enhancing your ability to accept circumstances with grace. When faced with difficulties, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can this teach me?" This reframe transforms obstacles into learning opportunities, aligning with the Stoic goal of continual self-improvement. End each day with a reflection on instances where you successfully practiced acceptance versus moments when you struggled. This practice helps you identify patterns and prepare more effective responses for future challenges. Regular meditation can deepen your understanding of acceptance, allowing you to observe your thoughts and feelings without attachment. This helps cultivate a peaceful state of mind that welcomes whatever life presents. As you begin each day, set intentions that emphasize acceptance. For example, decide to accept interruptions in your workday with composure or embrace unforeseen changes in plans without stress. This attitude aligns with the Stoic ideal of facing life's challenges with equanimity and calm. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, often used the view from above technique to gain perspective on life's events. He reminded himself of the impermanence and relative insignificance of human affairs in the grand scheme of the universe. This practice helped him gain calm acceptance of life's transient nature. You can use this practice to help put your own challenges in perspective. Seneca's writings also emphasize the idea that adversity isn't an obstacle, but a part of life. He believed that facing adversity with acceptance ultimately strengthens our character, making us more resilient and capable of handling whatever comes our way. So how can you embrace Stoic acceptance in your own life today? How might this shift in mindset help you handle life's challenges with greater calm and wisdom? Let's continue on to the next lesson, where we'll explore the concept of emotional agility and how mastering it can transform the way you face obstacles. Continuing from our previous lesson on emotional agility, let's now explore how Stoicism teaches us to cultivate detachment and embrace life's challenges with a mindset that transforms adversity into opportunity. One way to enhance your emotional resilience is by exposing yourself to discomfort in small, controlled ways. This could include taking cold showers, fasting, or engaging in any activity that pushes you slightly outside of your comfort zone. Over time, these practices will improve your ability to stay composed under stress. At the end of each day, take time to reflect on how you handled emotional challenges. Did you react impulsively, or did you respond with deliberation and thoughtfulness? This daily audit helps you recognize patterns and track progress in your emotional responses. Journaling can be an effective tool in this process. Writing about your feelings allows you to process your emotions more clearly, helping you view situations objectively. This practice facilitates a more thoughtful approach to emotional challenges. Regular meditation is another key practice that helps cultivate inner calm and enhances your awareness of your emotional and thought processes. Meditation supports emotional agility by strengthening your ability to concentrate and remain present, even in difficult moments. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, often wrote about the importance of emotional resilience. He believed that maintaining a composed mind, regardless of external circumstances, is essential. His personal writings encourage us to see life's challenges as opportunities to demonstrate virtue. In Meditations, he wrote about viewing life's events through a Stoic lens, an opportunity to exercise patience, courage, and rationality. For Stoics like Epictetus, emotional agility means recognizing the power of choice in our reactions. He taught that true freedom comes from understanding what we can control and what we cannot. The Stoic ideal is to always be able to choose how we respond to life's challenges, maintaining control over our emotions and actions. Consider the peace that comes from being able to choose your response to adversity. Isn't that freedom in its purest form? Lesson 7. The Art of Detachment. Now let's explore how mastering detachment can help us manage our emotions more effectively and enhance our decision-making. Detachment, in Stoic terms, involves separating our feelings from our actions and decisions. It's about not allowing our emotions to overwhelm our rational judgment. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from within. By controlling our responses, we can maintain our inner peace regardless of external circumstances. For philosophers like Epictetus, detachment is crucial to maintaining tranquility. He famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." This powerful perspective shows us that our emotional reactions often cause more turmoil than the actual events themselves. By practicing detachment, we reduce our emotional vulnerability and increase our resilience. We can view challenging situations with clarity, free from the influence of personal bias or emotional disturbance. Start by observing situations as if you were an impartial spectator. This exercise helps you see the facts of the situation without the cloud of personal bias or emotional turmoil. When faced with a challenge, try to describe it in neutral terms, focusing on what happened rather than how it made you feel. This mental shift creates a space between you and your reactions, giving you the freedom to respond more rationally and deliberately. When strong emotions arise, remind yourself that these feelings are temporary and do not define you or dictate your actions. Ask yourself, what would someone I respect do in this situation? This question can guide you toward responding from a place of virtue and reason rather than reacting impulsively. Regularly engage in exercises that encourage detachment from outcomes. For example, take on tasks where the result is uncertain, focusing only on the effort rather than the outcome. This practice reinforces the Stoic principle that while we can control our actions, we cannot always control the results. Before reacting to any emotional trigger, try taking a deep breath and counting to 10. This simple pause can give you enough time to engage your rational mind and decide how best to proceed. Keeping a daily journal can further support your practice of detachment. Write about the events that triggered strong emotions and detail your initial emotional response. Then analyze whether these responses were proportionate to the events themselves. This reflection can help you practice emotional detachment, improving your emotional responses over time. At the end of the day, review moments when you successfully detached from disruptive emotions, as well as times when you were caught up in your feelings. Reflect on how detachment could have altered the outcomes, and use this insight to improve your emotional management moving forward. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly emphasized the importance of accepting external events as they are, without adding emotional interpretation. His reflections remind us that detaching from desire and aversion leads to a more peaceful and effective life. Seneca also wrote about the liberation that comes from being free of passions, suggesting that detachment is not about withdrawing from life, but rather experiencing it fully and directly, without the distortion of excessive emotional influence. Detachment doesn't mean not caring about outcomes. It means maintaining a calm and composed demeanor that allows for rational decision-making and personal growth, regardless of the external chaos. Lesson 8. The Principle of Amor Fati. This concept takes detachment a step further, asking us not only to accept, but to embrace everything that happens to us, including suffering and adversity, as necessary components of our lives. How can embracing Amor Fati transform our approach to challenges and enrich our life experience? Amor Fati is not just about acceptance, it's an enthusiastic embrace of everything life brings. For the Stoics, every event, no matter how difficult, is something to be welcomed, not just endured. This perspective challenges us to love our fate, good or bad, viewing each moment as perfect in its own way, because it comes from the natural order of the universe. Friedrich Nietzsche, heavily influenced by Stoic philosophy, expressed this idea when he famously said, "My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity." For Stoics like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, The concept of amor fati is rooted in the understanding that everything happens for a reason, as part of the rational and purposeful design of the cosmos. What if we could see challenges as a way to improve ourselves rather than obstacles to our happiness? This mindset can transform hardship into a powerful opportunity for growth. Start by reframing how you view challenges. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, view them as essential parts of your personal growth and development. This shift in perspective can transform feelings of hardship into opportunities for enrichment. How will embracing amor fati change the way you face challenges in your own life? Let's move forward to the next lesson, where we'll explore the power of self-reflection and its role in continual self-improvement. Building on the importance of perseverance from our previous lesson, let's now explore how reflection and introspection can deepen our understanding of Stoic principles, helping us navigate life's complexities with wisdom and clarity. Reflection is an essential practice for any Stoic practitioner. It allows you to examine your thoughts, actions, and their alignment with Stoic virtues like wisdom, temperance, courage, and justice. Regular reflection helps foster a deeper understanding of oneself and facilitates continual personal and philosophical growth. But how can reflection enhance our ability to manage life's challenges? For the Stoics, reflection is not just about looking back at what happened. It's about understanding why we acted in certain ways and how those actions align with our higher values. It's about assessing whether our lives are in accordance with rational and ethical principles. By reflecting on our day, we consolidate the learning from our daily experiences and integrate Stoic teachings into our everyday lives. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, exemplifies the power of this practice. He consistently examined his own thoughts and behaviors, critiquing them against his Stoic values and planning improvements. He believed that this process was crucial to ensure that his actions remained grounded in virtue and reason, especially when faced with adversity. 1. Effective way to reflect is by keeping a daily journal. This journal should not only record the events of your day, but also your responses to them. Ask yourself questions like, what decisions did I make today? How did I react to the challenges I faced? Did my actions reflect Stoic virtues? Journaling gives you the opportunity to assess your emotional and philosophical growth, allowing you to track how well you're living in alignment with Stoic principles. In addition to journaling, you can also set aside time each evening for quiet reflection. Consider questions like, what did I do well today? What could I have done better? What lessons did I learn? This practice will help you identify areas where you've improved and areas where you need further development, ensuring that you're always progressing toward becoming the best version of yourself. Engaging in discussions with fellow Stoics or like-minded individuals is another excellent way to deepen your reflective practice. These dialogues can offer new insights and different perspectives on applying Stoic principles, enriching your own understanding and application of these teachings. Through these conversations, you may gain valuable feedback that can further guide your journey towards self-improvement. Another key practice in reflection is mindfulness and self-examination. Incorporating meditation focused on these areas can help you gain greater clarity about your virtues and life's purpose. Stoic meditation techniques prompt you to think deeply about the choices you make and the reasons behind them, which cultivates an inner calm and a more thoughtful approach to life's challenges. Feedback from trusted friends or mentors is also an important aspect of reflection. Receiving external perspectives on your actions and decisions can offer new insights that you might not have considered. Seneca, for example, frequently wrote reflective letters to his friends. These letters not only served as his personal reflections, but also as moral guides for others, showing the value of shared reflection in Stoic practice. Epictetus, too, often encouraged his students to reflect on the nature of life and human behavior. He believed that by reflecting on our actions and the reasons behind them, we could foster a deeper understanding of Stoic principles and cultivate a more resilient and virtuous character. As you practice reflection, consider how this daily habit can transform your approach to challenges. By reflecting on your emotional and philosophical growth, you can continuously refine your approach to life, ensuring that you live with purpose and integrity. So, how can you integrate reflection into your own life? How might it help you grow, wiser and stronger in the face of life's challenges? Remember, Stoicism is not just a philosophy of the mind, but a discipline of the heart and spirit. It's about living our values through every action we take. The lessons we've learned here today are not just for personal growth, but for navigating life with wisdom, courage, and tranquility. As we move forward, keep reflecting on your progress and continue to embody these Stoic virtues in your life. May the practices of Stoicism help guide you toward the robust and resilient life that the Stoics envisioned, as you continue your journey toward wisdom and self-mastery.